Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. With your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Monday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you this morning. What else is new? Apple's up. Tesla's up. Actually, here's something new. The plasma trade is on. We have not talked about this, but yes, there are some stocks trading up off of the news that the FDA has approved plasma for the treatment of COVID-19. So we'll talk about that. Oil is trading up this morning as well. There are some bad storms in the forecast for the Gulf of Mexico, so that is cutting supply there. Our guest today, Bill Santiago. He is an independent trader and a comedian, and he will join the show at 8:35. In the meantime, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. We appreciate any and all likes. I'm doing it right now myself. So there we go. And now, Joel, what's happened here in the overnight session? How are we doing?
Strong close on Friday, Spencer, and follow through today. We took out that pair of highs at the end of the week at just around 33.96. Your low, 93.50. That's just a buck above the close, and we have just been drifting, marching higher here, trading at the highs of the pre-market session. Really nothing up here, folks, because we've never been up here. Crude is in the green by 42 cents at 42.76, still tussling with that $43 area. As you can tell, we do have some news about some bad weather, stopping oil shipments, but still doing a tango with 43. Gold, we'll talk about gold and inflation here in 1 minute, but gold's up 13.80 at 1960.80, and silver marching its way back up to 30. It's up 38 cents at 27.11. Bitcoin doesn't want to be left out of the trade. That's up $135 at 11,830. Triple D, deja vu all over again here. Oh, yeah. They're out buying right off that 6 o'clock last night. That 6 o'clock open, you had to get in and get in quick.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same stocks. It's the same story. The split trade continues to just go up every single day. Apple trading up a cool 16 points here this morning after tacking on $130 billion worth of market cap on Friday. Tesla's up another 71 points here this morning. These stocks are just rocket ship mode. It's like the dumbest thing. NVIDIA is trading up here too this morning. And it's like, I look at these stocks, I'm trading Friday night, and I'm like, well, NVIDIA was trading down a buck. I was like, I might as well just buy it because it'll probably be up 10 bucks on Monday. And sure enough, you come in and it's trading up 9. I mean, it's brainless trading almost right now. Like, I don't know when it ends, and it will end. But right now, it's like those same stocks just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. Obviously, full disclosure, I'm still long Apple. I've sold my NVIDIA this morning, so I can freely talk about it. But I mean, every time these things pull back even a buck or two overnight, it's just a buying opportunity. So I don't know when the story cools off for these stocks, but obviously NVIDIA, we talked about CMG, we've talked about the potential for splits on some of these, which is maybe driving these stocks relative to other stocks in their indexes. But you look here, Apple up 16. I mean, you can't even rationalize it. We go back to March, just rewind the tape on Apple, and let's just analyze where we've been straight up obviously since then. But you look at where it was, $212. The PE got down to about 12 or 13. The PE on Apple is approaching 30 now. So you start thinking, holy cow, this has got to be, the most Apple's been valued at in years from a valuation perspective. But it doesn't matter. It's hot right now. It's going. I don't want to sell it. One, I don't want to pay the tax on it. Two, I could hedge it, but if you're hedging, it's been the wrong call every single day. The thing just keeps going up every day. So I don't know when this party ends. Maybe it ends after the split, but we got a whole another 4 trading sessions after this one pre-split. So going to split Monday, I believe Spencer Israel has the date pegged on Tesla and Apple, but these are unbelievable moves. I think you just keep trading them, I guess. I mean, ride it until the party ends.
Yeah, just use the previous day's highs as support. That's I'm just going to blanket all the technical analysis on this with everything gapping up. That's the only thing. Old resistance, new support, whatever that high was on Friday, probably won't even get there. I know they tried to push it to 500 on Friday, came up a little bit short, having no problem doing it today, trading just off the highs of the pre-market session. Where'd we get to? Just in the last 15-minute bracket. Where'd we get to? If you absolutely have to have a high for right now, it's what, 5:15?
Doesn't matter, because we're
Yeah,
going to look at it's going to be
5:14:30.
5:25 by like 10 o'clock. Eventually, got to pull the rug out from under it a little bit, though, don't they? Don't we need some type of a little pullback this week somewhere? I'm not trading it from the short side, I'll tell you that much, but holy.
And for people that having problems, if you check your settings and you go to 720, that will clear it right up for you if you're having problem reading these charts. Just
yeah, the settings on the bottom right corner of your YouTube video, go to quality, set it to 720p, because for some reason it wants to default back to me to like 144, and then everything's blurry. So we're high end here now. We're in like high def, HD, pre-market prep. Spencer, what are your thoughts? You sit in the background here. You see the same stocks exploding every day. The other stocks are hated. I mean, you can bring up Intel. It's trading up 2 cents. So market goes up. Intel does not go up. You got Cisco flat, not even up a penny. It cannot even catch a bid when the S&Ps go up 30 handles. I mean, it's the same story again and again. There's complete separation between. So it's not a rising tide lifts all ships by any means. There are ships that have sunk with holes in them, and they're sitting at the bottom of the ocean, and they don't plan on rising anytime soon, it doesn't appear. I don't know. The Intel does and obviously I had the Intel for a couple days, and it rode out, and obviously they did the buyback. It smelled of desperation to me, which is why I sold into that rally. I think
right
Intel,
back down. Yep.
I think Intel's not catching a bid anytime soon. So what are your thoughts, though? You sit here and you see this separation. Well, how do we stop the separation between value?
Come on, Spencer.
How
do we stop the separation?
Yeah. How do we stop Apple from going up and Intel from going down and Cisco from going down? How do we stop it? Not that we have to, but what stops it?
Well, I don't know what stops it, but I think the same thing applies today as what applied in early March, right? Is if you want to buy anything that's out of favor in early March, it was everything, and now it's obviously not everything. It's just energy and value and financials, I guess. If you want to buy any of that stuff, just be prepared to take pain in the short term. That's what you have to do. You just have to take it.
Or pain in the long term. I mean, look at the banks. Let's just move away from it. Like,
boy.
These are just
you just have to take it. Just
terrible.
Just take.
I mean, are we not going to need banks anymore?
I don't know, Joel. Look at Wells Fargo. I mean, we are getting close to the March lows. I mean, we're not that far off. The March low on Wells
22.
Fargo, I guess it got lower than we're below the March lows. We got down in May. We got down to $22 in Wells Fargo. But we're not that far from it. So it's not like, oh, I'll just buy any stock and all stocks go up. They don't. The tech stocks, the growth tech stocks go up, but there's a lot of stocks that just do not catch a bid. I mean, I see it this morning. American Airlines is up 40 cents. You know what I'm thinking on that? What you know what I'm thinking on American Airlines? Trading up 40 cents because Trump said some positive stuff about plasma. So we have a little bit of a reopening trade in the pre-market.
Sold.
Yeah. I'm thinking, how long before they just start hitting that bid again? Because they hate all those stocks. And maybe they hate them for good reason, but the banks, yes, we've seen, some stabilization in a few of these charts. Morgan Stanley's held up better, so maybe I'm picking on the worst one. But JP Morgan, which many people believe is best of breed, we're back to where we were May, June. I mean, it's really gone nowhere. So if you put all your money in, one of the best banks probably out there, JP Morgan, over the last 3 months, you've watched your money go nowhere, and you've watched stocks like Apple, double.
So look,
unbelievable.
From a trading standpoint, this is not that difficult, right? You buy the stocks that are in favor on pullbacks, and you sell rips in stocks out of favor. That's still working.
That's what we've been saying on the show for 6 months,
right? And nothing has changed. That's
what you got to do.
And that's from that point of view, from the trading point of view, that's what you have to do. And anything longer than that, longer term investing, whatever, swing trading, whatever, if you're looking at several months out, a couple of years out, you gotta be prepared to take the pain. If you're convicted, just take it. Right? If you have,
I don't know. I think if you're taking the pain, you're in the wrong stocks right now. When the S&Ps are making new highs and you're taking pain in your portfolio, you're in the wrong stocks. I think you're in the wrong stocks.
If you have conviction, then you should be willing to. That's what I'm saying. If you have the conviction to buy it, take the pain.
Yeah, but how long do you take the pain for before you say I'm in the wrong stocks and my opinion was wrong? I mean, I've been dead wrong. Well, not dead, but Cisco, I've been talking against my book. I didn't want it, but it's in my portfolio. And I look at this and think, it can't go up on a day the S&Ps are up 30. What's going to make it go up? Maybe if Jim Cramer comes up and says, buy it, maybe that would turn it around because his influence is just unbelievable.
He's
right
trying
now.
to find a bottom here. I mean,
well, yeah, but for it's consolidation to probably go lower, Joel. You know, you see this, it gets hammered and then they sit there for a few days and then they get hammered again. I'm just waiting for the ball to fall out and Cisco's at $38. I absolutely, you know, it's one of the few value techs I have left. And I do like the Jim Cramer approach. You know, he said, have a little bit of value, have a little bit of growth and your long-term portfolio be okay that way. I just look at it, all my value stocks suck and all my growth stocks are awesome. So my portfolio is doing okay. It's kind of doing what the S&P, but if I was all growth in my long-term investing portfolio right now, you'd be killing it. So it's tough to just keep sticking with these value dogs. Does it ever come back into favor? If we get 2 days, 3 days, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, it's like, okay, we're showing some life. And they hit them back down.
I want to reassess this trade on Monday. Okay, next Monday. After
why next
after
Monday?
the splits happen, after Tesla and Apple split.
Yeah,
I guess they're not going to stop going up until then. So
doesn't appear to, anyways. Maybe they pull a rug out from it a day early or something. But you're making a fantastic point. And we have the split coming. We know these stocks are being driven by the split, at least Apple and Tesla is, and it's dragging up the other growth tech.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't matter. The market doesn't make sense, but some of it does. And let's stop for a second and just talk the economy just for a second.
Not long.
Let's talk inflation.
You don't want to talk the economy.
Oh, let's talk inflation.
Okay,
because
after this,
housing prices are exploding.
Spencer's hanging in there.
No, I'm just telling you, housing prices are exploding right now. At least they are where I'm at. And, you know, I understand, you know, I talked to my buddy in Chicago who's got a bunch of houses there. And he's like, in the burbs, housing prices are exploding. I'm like, boats, you know, people are buying used boats and they're paying twice as much as those boats were going for last year because they're scrambling around. And obviously boating season is going to end in a month. So, you know, maybe that trade's going to come off, you know, of buying stuff. But people are out there buying stuff. They're buying stuff. And I'm just wondering if you don't have inflation eventually creeping in or potentially coming a little bit faster. We know we have inflation. They've lied to us, you know, all the time. They take out what's inflationary out of the index and tell us we don't have inflation. But we know prices go up. I mean, they don't include housing prices, heaven forbid, because it would look crazy.
Or crude.
Well, you could include crude because crude only goes down. So if they want, they'll probably reintroduce crude into the, you know, but in any regards, inflation has got to be somewhat of a concern. And what does the Fed do? If, let's just say, scenario analysis, we start to get into a period where prices start really flying and inflation becomes a concern. How does the Fed raise interest rates to fight it? The U.S. deficit's too much. They cannot just start jacking interest rates because the whole economy would just roll over. So I don't even know how you fight that. So they're setting themselves up for a really bad scenario. And I mean, if you really think inflation is going to be a concern, maybe that's the argument why gold and silver have been catching a bit, and even why Bitcoin to a certain extent has been showing some life. You know, is the inflation trade, and is that why the stock market just continues to fly? Is the inflation trade already on?
I think so.
Buy Bitcoin? I don't know. Call it a day.
Where's Bitcoin this morning? It up again? I want to buy. I should buy it. I should buy Bitcoin. I hate Bitcoin.
It's up $155.
Where is it? 13,000 yet?
No, 11,850. That I'm quoting you the futures here.
If it wasn't just numbers in an account, you know, like if it had actually something behind it, I just can't get my grasp around just buying somebody's digital numbers. And there's nothing there. There's no, at least with gold, you got a metal that has some type of use. I mean, I don't totally understand it, but then I guess you can argue the same for fiat currency. So anyways, we've digressed to inflation talk, but I think I'm just saying, maybe that's the reason why we just have this nonstop bid. But why do the value stocks? I guess, you know, maybe there's the banks, and somebody in the chat was saying there's a lot of bankruptcies coming. And maybe it is just, big, business versus small business, and the small business owner is in trouble. And we are going to see a lot of bankruptcies, and we're going to see some issues. And maybe that's why the banks can't catch a bid either. But there's a lot of separation here in a lot of different stocks.
I would just say, and then we'll move on, but I was doing some research over the weekend, doing some, portfolio analysis. And I thought, oh man, I really don't have enough dividends in my portfolio. I probably should get some more. And I looked at, buying a dividend ETF, or I looked at all of them pretty much. And then I thought, how can I buy this? How can I buy these companies right now?
Yeah, it's all full of crap.
You get a dividend, great, but your returns are horrible.
They're horrible. Cisco,
I,
nice 3.4% dividend. Stock goes straight down.
How can I buy a dividend ETF right now when all the stocks in it are just crap? I don't know. So
and they cut the dividends. I mean, you had Wells Fargo, and you're like, oh yeah, 7% dividend, pretty nice. Oh, now it's 1%. It's 1% now. Okay. It's tough. That's the whole reason why they keep flying into the same companies, because they want to be in the companies that are running on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And it's the same tech companies that are doing that. I mean, I look at the Amazon chart, Joel. Look at the Amazon chart. It looks ready to go again. Look at it. It got 4 days of consolidation with 4 highs just under 3,300, which is kind of coinciding right with the 3,344 all-time high. That looks ready to break out. Full disclosure, I'm long Amazon, but I almost want to put on more for a trade because the thing looks like it's ready to go.
Yeah, and also the split factor.
If people start thinking that, or every time they talk about it on CNBC, oh, Amazon might split it, it gets another 10 points jacked onto it. So, and I mean, I don't think it's Bezos style. I don't know if he's that, has Amazon ever split?
Let's find out.
I don't think so.
I don't think they have.
I do not think so.
Like, we know Apple has split before, and obviously that's there's no history here of Amazon.
Amazon has 3 splits. I stand corrected.
They have split.
Yep, they split in 98, 99, and again in 99.
Back when splits were cool.
Yeah.
But if splits are starting to become cool again, can you imagine if Amazon announced stock split? Where would it go? I mean,
5,
we just saw what Apple did. I mean, what would it do the next day? Up 20%? I don't know. So anyways, I would not want to be short Amazon right now. Not with that chart, not with the split talk, and not with tech. And
what would you want to be short?
All this crap.
All the
Intel.
Intel. Cisco.
I shook my head, and when I was obviously, and I bought the stock, and I look at it, and it's not going up, and you go on here, and here you have it comes out with a $10 billion buyback, and they just slap it in the face and knock it right back down. I don't want to be long Intel. I like the dividend.
What about Oracle?
I'm long Oracle. I do own Oracle. Oracle has that wild card, this TikTok stuff happening right now. But you know what? It's old tech too. I don't love it either. It hasn't gone anywhere. The only reason I won't sell my Oracle is because I'm averaged in from $8 on this thing. I bought it during the financial crisis, and I don't want to pay the tax. So, maybe that's a bad reason not to sell a stock. But, when you're selling stocks with 400% or 500% gains, the tax sucks. So I don't know if I would sell my Oracle for that reason, but I wouldn't be buying Oracle. It's not a sexy stock. It's all about, what's hot. And, it gets a little headlines on the TikTok thing right now, but this stock's gone nowhere too. I mean, look at the Oracle chart. Look at the Oracle chart for the last year. Think about what's, where Apple is relative to where it was a year ago. Think about where Tesla is, obviously, relative to where it was a year ago. Look at Oracle, where it was. Look at Cisco, where it was. These stocks are dogs. Micron, Western Digital, dogs. They don't want those stocks. They're not growing. They only want the stocks that are growing on the top line. I don't know if that trade turns, but it has. Everybody's been trying to call that turn for years now, and it's lost the money. So I don't know. I don't like any of the stocks.
Let's talk plasma.
Yeah, that's where I want to go. You know what is hot this morning? What is sexy is not value tech, but it is plasma stocks. Mm-hmm. So the news last night that the FDA, I think at the urging of the White House, had approved or authorized the use of convalescent plasma from patients who have recovered from COVID-19 to treat the virus, essentially. So the FDA was very cautionary. This is early days for this treatment, but they're giving it the accelerated use, and so they are, I guess, allowing doctors to prescribe plasma, and that is kickstarting rallies this morning in a number of stocks. And if you'd like, I can even here, I'll go to the Benzinga Pro, and they've got a list for me right here in the Pro of a bunch of plasma.
Bring that up.
Rating up.
Props to the Benzinga news desk. I tweeted out a bunch of them too from Benzinga.
I'll show you exactly. All I did was go into my news feed, and I'll make it bigger here, but I'll go into my news feed, and I just searched plasma. I'll make the font bigger. I just searched plasma, and there we go. Okay, here we go. A bunch of plasma stocks for you this morning. ADMA, and then I just go by the ones that are up the most. So GRFS, KMDA, LMNL, SONN, TTOO, all up double digits here.
Yeah, all up big.
XBIT is also in there as well. So props to those guys. And that's what's moving this morning. If you look at what's moving this morning, it's Apple, it's Tesla, and it's these guys.
The plasma.
Yep.
The problem is we know the Apple, that's a sustained trade. Is this a sustained trade, or is this just an overnight gift from Trump and they fade it? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say on day one.
It's there's been, I mean, it's kind of mixed here. The ADMA, big fade going on right now. You had to sell your peanuts when the circus was in town. That hit $6, and now we're at 3.5. So that one's leaking bad. Maybe get down to got a ways to go to get to the top of yesterday's range, but that one almost a 2-for-1 stock split since it hit $6 earlier. GRFS, there's one of them that's holding on to the gains.
Where's ADMA from where it was in the pre-market? How high did it get?
$6.
Oh, these have come off huge then.
Yeah,
this trade's already been faded. It's kind of the ratings on the wall. This is why we started pre-market prep, me and Joel. Because you can get so much information. You come in and you don't know what's happened in the pre-market, and you look and you're like, oh, this ADMA is up. It's trading up
exactly
50%. I want to buy this thing because it's going to go up 100. It already did.
About 40% right now.
It already went up 200, and it's coming down. So it's a completely different story. When you look at that pre-market chart, it's a completely different story. Now it's telling you, oh, we had the huge, everybody excited off the 4 a.m. open, and because, oh, these are going to be the stocks, and all those people are burned, and everybody who's bought it since 4 a.m. is down money. That's telling you a completely different story. That in high likelihood, in my opinion, this ADMA isn't going back to 6, it isn't going back to 5. It might not go back to 4. It might go back to 3. So this is why, and obviously these things are bouncing around a little bit. You could get some little snapback rallies in here as it goes, but completely different story than if you just look at, oh, if this was up, now it's a 40%, maybe it's going to go up to 100%. It already did. So pre-market means so much when you're looking at these little stories. Let's already trade 11 million shares. It's telling me this trade is actually already coming off.
This GRFS has just been tailing off. This one's different. Well, it's at the low of the move, and it got a little spike.
It's an ADR.
I'm sorry?
It's an ADR also, so it's
okay. So
which stock?
GRFS.
Oh, okay, yeah. When they're ADRs, they're already priced over. See,
this LMNL. This one, it's still up $7, but it was up $14. It got to 28. So, man, you see these spikes on the dailies a lot of time. The stock did this in early July. Not sure what the news was. Came back in. Did it again at the end of July. Came back in. So
I'll tell you, it's the same headline, because this headline that we got last night is not necessarily new news. It's kind
of like the Foot Locker trade.
It's been teased for months that the FDA was going to do something with plasma. So it's just the same headline that we've already gotten like 3 or 4 times already. That's what each spike is.
I had no opinion before we began this segment, and I am very opinionated 3 minutes later for the simple reason what you just said, that we've already had these headlines. Second thing is I can see it in the stocks that the big pops off 4 a.m., 5 a.m. They've leaked ever since. I think it's a gift on all these stocks. And if I was in these stocks, I'd ring the register. That's my opinion. Very opinionated, not buying any of them. And if I was long these things, I'd say thank you for the 65% LMNL this morning and ring the register. Could it go back up further? It could, but I'd ring the register. That's just my opinion.
TTOO hit 220, now back at $1.70. This is a reverse.
They're leaking bad.
Everyone is. Is there one that the only one that hasn't? Let's see what KMDA did. Now this is a little different looking chart here, Triple D.
Hold on a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe I don't fade that one because it's still looking okay, and it's only up 27%. These other ones were up 200%. Maybe it's a different story. I'm not sure.
Yep.
But the other ones, that ADMA, the ones that were up and they've already given back half their gains. You never want to see your stock open up at 4 a.m. at the highs and leak all pre-market. You never want to see that because that's telling you people were just too excited off the hop and everybody's been burned.
Just came in and then people were just waiting there.
They were waiting. They're like, I'm down money in this. Thank you for giving me my money back. Thank you, Donald Trump. I got some of my money back in SONN. I mean, this stock was $7-8 3 weeks ago. I don't know why it popped up there. And then all of a sudden pre-market, it gives you most of your money back. People are like, thank you very much. And they sell and they move on. That's what we're seeing. These trades have been sold all morning.
SONN, that hit 750. Now trying to get
that
back
hit 7. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Your levels too, Joel. Look at that March 3rd high on SONN.
Yep.
Coincides so nicely with it, and leaked ever since. It's not going back. I don't think it's going back to $7. Do you?
It's just too much. Too many people are caught. Just step down sellers.
Pain up there. Pain.
Yeah, pain.
That's what Kramer says. Pain. These stocks are up. So SONN is up 49%. And I'm going to say pain. I'm not going to chase this because the people bought 7, 6, 5, and 4 are all losing money here now. There's some pain in here. It's rare to see a stock up 50% and you can say, hey, there's some pain in here. But in these pre-market charts, you can find some pain.
We can find pain in any chart, in any situation.
If you're short Tesla, yes.
Hey, what was the high this morning in XBIT? Did that get up to 25.80?
Probably.
Yeah.
Moral of the story: don't buy stocks up 200%.
Another chapter. That is another chapter in the book.
Pain, the pain trade.
25.80, Mr. Israel. That is correct. Yep.
Now it's 21. A lot of people down some money in that this morning already. They're like, oh, I thought I was going to get rich on this plasma trade. It's not working out the way you thought.
Yeah, it's kind of like we said, it's kind of news reproduced. Like when I mentioned it, to Lisa, Trump's making an announcement. She was like, yeah, it's probably plasma. And, this was like not looking at the tape, something that's been talked about for a while. But how are the other vaccine stocks reacting to this? We got
AstraZeneca trading up.
So AZN's that's its own headline.
What is that headline? Remember, that's trading in Europe right now, so that's already priced. So it's up $2, 3%. That's actively traded for 5 hours already, open in Europe. So it's kind of figured out where it wants to be. I have full disclosure. I'm long AstraZeneca. I'm starting to think I might just move on from this one too, though, because
so there was a report, I think it was from the Financial Times, that the Trump administration and then I guess the FDA by default is considering fast tracking AstraZeneca's vaccine candidate before the election.
I've said all along, I think AstraZeneca is going to be one of the first, and I bought the stock when it came back to 55 because that's where it had broken out from. I've been sitting in it here and watched it go to 57, back to 55, back to 57, back to 55. And I just don't know, even if it gets approved, how much gas, that could be worth. It could be worth something if they fast track it and they quickly get it approved. But do I get another shot at 55? Maybe you just trade this thing.
Look at that day it went to 64 and change.
Yeah, remember well, that was that crazy announcement. That's the classic when they start popping up, companies the size of AstraZeneca start popping up 10%. On a positive trial. That's just ring the register, Gilead all over again.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to mention that.
But a 3.5% move. I mean, AstraZeneca, it feasibly could start getting up over 60. Maybe it starts trending if they think this is going to be the winner. If you're in a vaccine play, I think this is going to be the winner. But again, how much money is going to add to the bottom line? I mean, on even if they get it approved, this is a huge company. It's not a small little nickel and dime company that's got no drug approved, and this is going to be a game changer for them. It's no game changer, as I don't even know how much money they're going to make off of it. So when you get these 2-point
perception,
pops, it seems like there are opportunities to sell when you get these pops. And, I look at this and maybe I should just be trading this 55 to 57, 55 to 57. You could have did that 3-4 times and been making 2 points. So maybe this is a better trade than it is like sticking around and just waiting for, the ultimate announcement.
All right. S&Ps did get up to 34.24. I'm off only by 1,000 points on that one. We backed off at 34.21 1/4. So there's a target for you. Actually, my last number was 34.21 1/4. Probably should have adjusted that after that strong open, but
right.
that's what we're looking here at 8:31.
Yep, we're gonna get Bill Santiago on here in a couple of minutes. He is an independent trader, also a comedian.
I can't wait.
If you want Bill to insult all us, the three of us, or anyone,
Well, you know he will.
hit that like button. Hit the like button. I want to see how many likes we can get, and then we'll have Bill launch some insults our way. And at 8:35 here. So let's see those likes and subscribes. Back to the stocks. Let's do a couple more.
Can we do grow generation?
Yes, that's actually where I want to go next.
GRWG.
So if you look at the stocks with the most volume this morning trading in the pre-market, GrowGen is near the top.
Is there a headline here? Doesn't need a headline. This story.
The story
is
GrowGen,
broken.
GrowGen is hold on for dear life. I've been trying to get the CEO on the show just to kind of answer some questions. They were the subject of a pretty strong short report last week from Hindenburg, alleging some major red flags as far as the management team is concerned. But the stock's obviously been on a huge rally. Not so much. Looks like it kind of topped out there a couple.
Well, you know where it topped out. When I said that day, you had the double Jim Cramer pumped. He pumped it the one day, drove it to 19, then he pumped it the second day and drove it to 22 and said you had to buy it. It's $14. We said it on the show that morning. I said, I've never seen Jim Cramer pump a stock 2 days in a row, have a CEO on and then do a follow-up segment the next day and give this as you have to buy this stock. And I was like, this has got to be the top because it ran from 10 and then it ran all the way up to 22. And obviously now it's back down to 14. Now it starts to get more interesting. I mean, it's down $2.84. It's got the negative press. It had the Hindenburg thing. I mean, okay, now you start to get back to normal trend line. Get down in the low 10, 11, 12 area. It starts to get interesting again. So, you know, if I was in it now, maybe you're too late to sell it now, but the time to ring the register was when Jim Cramer was pumping it. And truth be told, it was 19 when I was dogging it on the show, and it went to 22 after that. So, you know, I would have had a day of pain if I was shorting the stock, but now it's 14. So you get these double pumps from, you know, when stocks start getting major media attention like that, and they've been running for days, that's usually when they're going to turn. And that's when it turned. Everybody had to get in that day when Jim Cramer told them to get in. And the difference between that and Rocket, big difference, because obviously Rocket was in the gutter and Jim Cramer turned around and said, buy it. So when stocks are running 200-300% and then they come on show up on CNBC because they're running, that's the difference. So, you know, Rocket obviously turned on a dime when Jim Cramer said, it's too cheap, buy it. And stock was $19 trading then. And it's been pretty much straight up since. It slowed a little bit that next morning, but it's been blasted off ever since. People wanted an excuse to buy RKT.
I mean, in theory, if the housing market is on,
it's hot. Yep.
Right. I mean, shouldn't.
Oh, I like this story too. I screwed up. There's been a lot of trades. I do right, I do wrong. You know, obviously you're right and you're wrong. I had this stock. I bought the stock. I bought the stock at 20. And then, you know, I'm looking at it, and it's not responding to earnings. And I was like, oh, I just don't like that tape. And, you know, me and Kenny were on the show, and I was like, yeah, I don't like the technicals here. And I sold the stock literally 2 days before it started blasting off. You get some right, you get some wrong. And I was dead wrong on this one. I should have held on. I liked it. I should have went with my initial instincts. I talked myself out of it. I was like, I just don't like the way it's not responding. I didn't wait around long enough on it. So, and obviously now the stock's $28 and I watched it blast off without me. So props to Raznick who brought us this stock. I shouldn't have sold it. But I mean, one thing, and people do this all the time, they're going to focus on what they did wrong. And they're like, man, I cannot believe I missed that rocket. And they're focused on it. You've got to move on. When you're a trader, you're going to make good calls and you're going to make bad calls. And if you sit and dwell on your bad calls and let that affect your psychology and let that affect your confidence, it's going to impact you. You got to move on. If you're making, you know, 20, 30 trades, 40 trades, or if you're even making just 2 or 3 trades, you're going to get some right. You're going to get some wrong. But you cannot let those good trades affect your psychology, because if it hits your confidence, then you're going to be hesitant and you're going to start doing stuff. And that stuff learned over time. I make a bad call. I move on. I was wrong on our KT. I missed it. I was in it. I missed it. I screwed it up, and I've moved on.
All right,
and that's what you got to do.
Here we go. Coming to us, I think, from the Tesla Roadster that Elon Musk launched into space. Bill Santiago, good morning.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
He's in
How
space.
you doing? Can you see? I have to apologize for this virtual background. I'm sorry about that, but a lot of the jokes that I'm going to be laying out for you guys today, they're making their world premiere. So I thought this would be appropriate.
Hey, nice.
I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody
Bill.
in the Benzinga flat earth community, but this is what we're going with over here.
Bill, I have to tell you, I was really excited. I thought you were the first person to actually get on the Virgin Galactic plane and get launched into space, into orbit. I was like, he's actually paid the $600,000 and he launched himself into space and he's up there orbiting around right now.
It's only 250,000. I'll get into that in a second because I have some thoughts on that. But before you guys ask, yes, the rumor is true. I am still shorting Tesla. There is no greater thrill than shorting a stock at all-time highs. Am I right, Dennis? Am I right?
Where are you, Bill? Bill, where are you?
You know where he is. He's in outer space.
I relocated to the Galapagos Islands, and you guys were wondering about that. I'm out here, and it's wonderful, except the blue-footed boobies are driving me crazy. They're worse than the magpies up in Canada. It's like a Hitchcock movie every day out here.
Wait, you're in Chicago.
I am in Chicago, yeah.
So here's my question. Did you lower your minimum threshold for people from 25 to 5, and now you're back on the road?
I only do Zoom. This is it. Three is the top my top number for the audience, but it's fantastic. So hey, I was going to say regarding Tesla, I don't care about the split. I don't care about the S&P inclusion. I don't care about Battery Day. I don't know if you heard about. I don't care about the new Xanadu Gigafactory that's coming online after Berlin. I say to hell with all of you parabolic-aholics riding the Tesla tsunami. It's fake news. The trend is a dead end. I might get bullish at zero, but take it from me. Never not wrong, Santiago. Forget Tesla. You guys know the play. I heard his CEO on your show the other day. Go with Nikola. The luck and coffee of EVs. That's where the money is.
Jesus. All right.
I am long fraud. I am long vehicles that don't exist. CGI promotional videos. The whole Trevor Milton trifecta. That's where the money is, people.
Go ahead, Spence.
If they have vehicles, that's bearish, right?
Yeah. If you ever see an actual vehicle,
if you ever see an actual car,
get out.
It's a bad sign.
When Nikola actually produces their first truck, that's the top.
That's the top.
Do you guys ever like compare? I know Trevor likes to compare himself to Elon, but come on, Elon. I'm a musketeer myself. I'm a big fan of Elon. I'm a little nervous about betting against anybody whose side hustle is terraforming Mars.
Well, actually, that was going to be my next point. Bill, what do you think of Elon Musk mining asteroids for gold, flooding the market with gold? And then
it's coming. He's got a long range plan. And if you notice that Elon is an alien, even his name is just a different way of spelling it. Elon, alien is phonetically indistinguishable. That's why he wants to go to. That's why Elon wants to go to Mars. He wants to go home.
Listen, Bill, you've been listening to us for years, right? And we've talked about the markets, the up and down markets, and we're giving you some good calls and some bad calls, but I just need your take on something, okay?
Oh no, you're deviating me from my whole planned out thing. But go ahead.
Got a gig going here. Come on, Joel.
Okay.
I prepare, and he feels like he's got to interject.
I just want to get your thoughts on the election. Oh
well, did you watch Biden on the last night? The guy was on fire. He was unrecognizable. I couldn't believe it. Hey, Sleepy Joe was wide awake. I don't know if Kamala slipped some Red Bull into his warm milk, but that he exceeded all expectations. I don't know if he has what it takes to be the tweeter in chief, but you know, he's definitely gotten a bump out of the convention. What do you think?
I
got some work
think
to
it's
do.
going to be a huge turnout. It's hard to predict.
Well, you know what happens tonight. The Republicans get their turn tonight, and don't quote me on this, but the rumor is, you know, who's supposed to introduce Trump at the Republican convention?
No.
The CEO of Goya Foods. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say.
You know what? It's not a publicly held company.
I thought I was
so
going to be the CEO of Kodak.
No. Babu Nottoway. Did you guys catch his comments at the White House?
No.
Okay. This guy is the president, the CEO of Goya Foods, which is the biggest. They supply all the food to all the Latinos in the world. Without Goya, we starve. Okay. It's a very important company. All his employees are Latino. Doesn't get more Latino, and he goes to the White House to speak on behalf of the most anti-Latino president that there's ever been on the planet, and he says President Trump is a blessing. You guys don't understand how that's like the CEO of Matzo Ball Inc. being like, thank God for Hitler. God bless Adolf.
That's tough. Okay, we're
matter.
gonna get ourselves in trouble here now.
All right, go back. All right,
Get him off this tangent in a hurry.
Go back to your. I should
No,
ask
no,
that.
that was all right. That was all right.
Hey,
go back.
fault.
I'm just
My
going with
fault.
what Joel asked me.
I know.
He's got his gate clean, and then you take him on a tangent, and then we start to go into Hitler. So
All I'm
don't take him
saying
on
is
tangents.
Dictators' lives matter. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Bill, what else is on your radar here?
Well, you want to hear my my biggest trade so far since when I talked to you, June. Yeah. Oh, this was beautiful. I had $20,000 in options on Fastly and I took it right through earnings, because why lose money slowly when you can lose it fastly?
There we go. That's it.
You know, I really do hope that my Tesla short works out, because you know, during this pandemic, performers like me were under a lot of economic pressure. My little girl Cielo, she lost a tooth, and when the tooth fairy left her $1, she was like so disappointed. I said, Cielo, what's wrong? He left you $1, and she goes, my friend Malai got $20 for her tooth. And I said, no. I said, under her pillow? She said, no, Bitcoin. So tooth fairy inflation is real, people.
We're telling you, inflation's a concern. Inflation's coming.
You know what's funny is, like, I never speak politics with them. They're like 6 and 9. They don't know, but they're always walking around. I hate Trump. I'm like, you can't hate someone just because you don't even know what you're talking about. First of all, you shouldn't even use the word hate. And you got to be able to explain why you don't like someone politically. You can't just repeat what someone else says. So what don't you like about the president? She says, well, he deports Mexicans, he separates families, and now he wants to get rid of TikTok.
It's a good argument.
You're right. We got to get rid of that poopy head mofo. Hey, Joel, how old is your daughter, Joel?
I 24 and 27.
Oh, so you probably don't even remember. Were you there when they were born?
I hope so.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you do natural childbirth?
No.
We went natural childbirth with both of mine, but I don't know, if I had to do it again, I would definitely go with Amazon Prime. Did you know that's available now?
What is it? Wait, is it same day or next day?
It was same day. It's fantastic. The only thing is we don't have a doorman, so there's always a chance that the neighbors will steal the package in the lobby. But it's worth the risk, because when you order a baby on Prime, you get to select gender, eye color. You can add in some toys, clothes, diapers, formula, iPad. You throw it all in the same box. It's fantastic.
There's a business model there.
That Jeff Bezos knows what he's doing.
Stocks, just talk stocks a little bit. I know that you had some iRobot.
iRobot is back in play. You want to hear my other recommendations? This is for Lisa. I don't care if anyone else listens. I know Lisa knows I know what I'm talking about. All right, you ready?
We're ready.
Let me see if I can find them over here. Well, I'll just tell them off the top of my head. Spotify is coming to me. Spotify is hot. Etsy, a Biomed, Pins, Alteryx, and Dennis. You know it's T-Doc. Teledoc, baby, to the moon.
That's going. That's been going too. It's a nice day.
Look, I heard you guys talking about that vaccine. Let me tell you something. Even if we get the vaccine, who the hell is going to take that vaccine? I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to be the first person online, okay, to take some no rush job corona vaccine.
Okay, but what about?
I'm not an don't confuse me. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm a you go first vaxxer.
I kind of am too.
If you take it and you don't die, I might take it.
So wait, does that same logic, does that apply to the Russian vaccine that they have over there?
Any vaccine, someone else has got to take it first.
Okay.
Sputnik.
You go first. Got it.
You go first.
Yeah. They're gonna force them over there though.
Oh, in fact, yeah, you don't get to take it. Well, every time Putin gives someone a vaccine, he dies. I mean, that's what vaccines are out there. All his enemies get vaccinated.
All right, Bill Santiago is an independent trader and, as you could probably tell, a comedian. Bill, any?
How come you guys give me such a lame introduction to say I'm going to insult you? You guys never mentioned that I graduated from the Max Loss School of Economics.
He knows Max Loss.
And
wait,
what was your degree? What was your degree in that?
My degree was stand-up.
Weren't you on CNN? Didn't you do business on CNN?
I wasn't on I didn't do business for them, but I have appeared on them many times. I used to actually do this for, media outlets that matter before I did Benzinga. Hey, but CNN's loss is pre-market's game, baby. Look, I'm never going back. The hell with CNN.
Look, Bill, in an economic recession, you got to do what you got to do. All right.
I know. That's why I'm holed up here in my car.
So we got to get one trading idea from you. We know you're short Tesla, but what's your idea? We need a long from you. What are you looking at right now that you're dumping into your Bill Santiago long-term portfolio?
Is Dennis listening to this podcast? I know he just subscribed to YouTube lately, but I just gave you like 10 ideas.
He doesn't listen.
No. We want the idea.
Dennis, what you got to do is you got to sign up. You got to sign up for my newsletter, my Never Not Wrong Santiago newsletter, and you get all of these ideas in your inbox every morning. It's just $10,000 a month. And with that, you also get Joe should subscribe too, because not only do you get the newsletter, you also get my favorite recipe for gummy bear rice. That should help Joel out with his Costco surplus. I'm trying to help everybody. Here.
Still got a bag and a half.
We appreciate all the help we can get, Bill.
But all you got to remember, is it's the liquidity, stupid. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else.
It's true. He's got this figured out.
All right, Bill Santiago, thanks a lot for coming on with us today. We appreciate it.
Anytime, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Bill. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Oh boy, Bill. Love having Bill on the show. His
energy brings the energy.
He does. A little bit different there. S&P still hanging up $29 here at 34.21 pre-market high, 34.24. Kind of quiet out there, Dennis. Are you seeing anything in balances?
Let's go take a look. So obviously we had option expiration on Friday, and sometimes you see, and I've talked about this before, and obviously it wasn't the case with the stocks on Friday because they were just going, but in some cases you'll see stocks actually have bigger moves on the Monday following a third Friday option expiration, because you have so many options going off the board and the stocks kind of release, because you have, call buyers and put buyers that are holding prices in place, the natural pinning action, which we've talked about before, which can hold stocks down. And then a lot of times what you'll see is on the Monday, the big move. You're seeing that obviously in some stocks, but like in Apple, for instance, and it obviously moved up significantly to 497 on Friday, which is interesting because 500 would probably have been a big pin for that too. But the point of the story, just that, you see big moves often on the following Monday. So let's go look at the individual imbalances and see if we're seeing some big institutional action. Pfizer, 262,000 to buy. I'm looking over. Its buy and balance is pretty much across the board, which is obviously what you'd think when the S&Ps are trading up 30. I'm just trying to look for outliers, though. Taiwan Semiconductor, which has been hot, 58,000 to buy on TSM. General Motors, and what's interesting is we haven't talked about General Motors for a while, but it got the pop. Ford did not participate, but there is this thought process going on out there in the markets right now that GM's going to spin off some of their electric businesses.
Well,
here.
that's what some analysts have said. Like,
yeah, and it showed some life early last week because of that, but then nothing really materialized, and value stock that it is, it starts to leak again. There's 133,000 to buy in GM this morning, so it is showing some life. The reopening trade on a little bit. Does that get faded? I mean, it's up 3%. Does that get faded? It seems to always get faded. So it's hard to just jump on board that GM's going to spin off an electric vehicle company and all of a sudden it's going to be blasting off into orbit. But if
this got over 30. It just got to $31.
On that potential talk of a spinoff was really what that was driving, and rumors last week. What analyst was saying that? Do you know who it was, Spencer?
I want to say it was Susquehanna. I think there's more than one though saying it. So.
I mean, if you're GM and Ford, and you're looking at Tesla go up, billions of dollars in market cap every single day, and you're looking at your company's stocks going down or basically going nowhere in the last 3 months.
3 months?
Well, especially in the last 3 years, 3-4 years. Sure, Joel, you're right. Like go back
10 years.
What are you thinking? I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that GM might be saying, let's unlock some value here. We've got electric vehicles coming. We've got an electric vehicle business. Let's unlock some value. I mean, I kind of think that's a possibility. They could do something like that because you got to think they want to try to figure out how to unlock the value somehow. They're being priced as companies that are last year's model that's going, potentially maybe even going out of business in the case of Ford. That's how the market is pricing it. I don't know if that's the case. I don't think it's the case because I do believe they're going to come out with electric vehicles and they're, obviously going to figure it out. But if you're management, I don't think a spinoff's out of the realm of possibility because I'd be trying to figure out how to unlock the value of my company as well.
Yeah.
What do you think, Spencer? You think GM could do a spinoff electric vehicle business?
I mean, I feel like we've come full circle on this. So I was talking to a coworker. So this is like a story that I'm going to relay that's third hand. But a coworker was talking to somebody else who was a newer investor, and this newer investor was saying, "Hey, I've got a stock that I like that no one's really talking about right now." And he goes, "Well, what's the stock?" And he goes, "GM." You know why? Because I think they could actually produce some electric vehicles, and I think they can. They could, no, everyone's talking about Tesla and Nikola and NIO, but I think GM really could start making some. And we've come full circle now. We've gone from Tesla doesn't produce any cars. Look at GM actually makes cars to now. No, look at GM. They actually make cars and they could make EVs. I don't know, man. I guess it couldn't hurt to spin it off at this point, but I think that'd be the top.
I don't know if it's be the top, but it hasn't even hit the bottom. Anyways, the GM chart I don't mind.
I mean that would be the top in like the electric vehicle trade when GM spins off their EV unit. I don't know.
How big is it? Is it even that big? I mean, what are they going to?
I would imagine. Yeah. Didn't they already have a spinoff of a part of their electric vehicle business before? Like, didn't some of this? Which company was it that came from GM? Wasn't one of them came from GM?
I don't know. But I do want to get to some tickers from the chat if we have time.
Sure.
There are a few that were dropped in there, so I don't know which company came from GM. But we were asked.
Lordstown did. Wasn't it Lordstown?
No. That came from like a GM plant, like the plant that GM.
Oh, so it wasn't okay.
No. All right, I'm gonna do some tickers here from the chat. We were asked about WYNN a while back, WYNN. I've not looked at this one for a little bit here, and it's kind of doing what the rest. They all trade, all the casinos they trade together. At this point, all the reopening stocks trade together too. So, up 2.5% this morning.
That's up on Trump and the
Yep.
plasma trade. And we are seeing a bid in the reopening stocks here this morning. Again, those bids seem to get faded by 10 o'clock. Does it happen here again? I mean, history tends to repeat itself again and again and again in this market. So am I buying Win up 2.5%? Am I buying American Airlines up 2.88% when it was up 3 or 4% earlier? No, because these trades just seem to get faded. You know, maybe one day they turn it around, but is today going to be that day? I don't think so. So I'd fade the pop and Win, American Airlines, all these stocks. They just seem to not catch a sustained bid.
This $90 area, just real pesky. You got a double top up there, 86 or 89.60 it's showing, and then you just got real good support down here as well. So it's been in a trading range more towards the upper end of the trading range. I think for this really to get going, you need a breakout and a close over $60. But just in the middle, no man's land on the downside, looking $80 is support. That looks like a 2-day low that you had.
And then what about Elastic, ESTC? This is not one we looked at for I think maybe ever on the show. It's a software play.
Wow, stocks, rocket ship mode. I mean, you got a stock that's sitting, I'm just going out my chart. That's an all-time high. I believe it's an all-time high. So we always say stocks making new all-time highs, make newer all-time highs. I like being long stocks that are making new all-time highs and short stocks making new all-time lows. So on a pullback here, I don't know what the news is this morning. Actually, I don't know if that was still odd print. 104 because it's bid 105.80 as an odd lot. So it's showing that it's down. But well, I was trading 102 earlier this morning, so I'm not sure if there's a headline here or not. But pull back to $100, probably another buying opportunity.
30 point move here since looks like August 11th, August 12th. So, I mean, maybe a little bit of consolidation for a day or two. I mean, it had a big rump up, big rally, maybe a little consolidation. Hard, your 2-day low is down at $100. So, be comfortable with the stop, maybe perhaps. Actually, it's 99.49, but nice move here. It was $40 at the March low.
Here's an interesting one. Jared and Letman in the chat there looking at Marvel, MRVL, and this is a nice level, Joel. So, we can look at setups, but if you actually want to buy the dip on a stock that was very much in favor a couple of months ago, MRVL, there's been a nice dip here. You have a little double bottom even from the last couple of days in the 32.5 area, and that coincides nicely back to the June low and to the double bottom you had in June at 32.67. So I'm looking at that 32.5 level as a nice level to lean on. I kind of like this MRVL. Get on a little pullback, stop yourself out under 32. I like the risk reward here. What do you think, MRVL?
Where does that fall in the whole tech realm of things?
And that's a good question too. Is it a value tech stock? It's an old tech stock, but it's got the 5G aspect to it. So there's a story, where's the Intel story coming from? They already know the major chip's going to get delayed for a couple of years. What's the story driving that? You could see how
Intel have like a headline with Neo last week. Do I remember
I don't know.
that?
I don't see any Intel headline coming anytime soon to make it exciting. We could talk Neo in a second too, because I have an opinion on that as well. But MRVL, it has that potential to get hot from the 5G story. So I kind of like this one on the pullback. I kind of like it. Under 32, then you'd say, okay, I was wrong and move on. But you've got hard support there, bounced off it on Friday. Little life here again this morning. Get this in the mid 33s, maybe take a shot.
Yeah, just kind of slow, maybe a couple days of consolidation, but not bad.
I wrote it down.
Chart.
This one's going on my list.
It's going on the list. All right, 8:59, Spencer. You want to stick another?
Well, let's just do Neo. Dennis said he has an opinion on Neo. What is your thought?
Yeah, you're in consolidation station here, and obviously we love consolidation station, and I think you have a setup here, 13.5. I wish it wasn't up 3% this morning because I wrote it down. I was actually going to take a shot at this around $14 from a swing trade perspective, stopping myself out, probably under 13. But now that it's up 50 cents, I'm like, it's already starting to go without me. But I kind of like the consolidation. The story, obviously, Chinese electric car maker. We know that story could get hot again. It's a little concerning that Tesla's been running, and Neo hasn't been running with that. But again, sometimes stocks have big moves, which just did from 6 to 16, and then they consolidate for a while until they eventually start to go higher again. So I kind of like the setup just because you're in consolidation station here now on Neo. And I think you could challenge that 16 high and maybe eventually take it out. So from a technical perspective, I like this chart.
Want to talk about consolidation here? Look at Workhorse here. Boy, oh boy,
Same
oh
thing.
boy. Yeah.
That's waiting for that news though. So
yeah,
that contract.
true. Waiting for the catalyst.
Waiting for the news. Is it going to be good or is it going to be bad? Place your bets. You know, that's like a place your bets chart on whether they're getting that contract or not getting that contract. Get that contract, the thing's probably over 30. Miss that contract, it's probably under 10. So maybe the risk reward set up. Maybe they're going to get it. You know, when we had the CEO on the show, he was, you know, saying they're going to be okay even without it, but it didn't sound like he kind of felt like pretty good about it too, that they could get it. So there's that outside chance they get that contract and that thing explodes. So it's a binary bet here right now. Do they get the contract or not?
All right, I'll wrap it up here. I want to thank our guest, Bill Santiago. Thanks to everyone in our chat. If you're in our chat, please hit the like button. We would really appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button, then you'll be notified every time Benzinga goes live on YouTube. We've got our chats on YouTube, our chat on the pre-market site, premarket.benzinga.com, and also the chat on Benzinga Pro. So you can always go there. You can catch a replay of this show on whatever major podcast platform you prefer, or on YouTube as well. Please remember that all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. You can hit in the description of this video. You can go to links for Benzinga Pro, links to Benzinga events, and links to our Shopify store. Thanks to the super chat donations as always. Joel and I will be back at 3:40 p.m. Eastern time at the same place, youtube.com/Benzinga TV. Until then, everyone have a great rest of your Monday.